Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.
You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Wednesday, the 24th of September. India's foreign minister proposes multi-pronged global South strategy to tackle challenges. India mostly with us, says Zelensky after Trump's primary funders of war charge. And World Bank warns Pakistan's poverty line decline has stalled amid crisis. And now for all the details. India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar held a high-level meeting of Global South countries on the sidelines of the 80th United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday, where he called for increased investment, technology collaborations and transparent economic practices among the Global South countries. While addressing areas for cooperation, particularly climate change, Jaishankar said countries of the Global South need to develop initiatives that serve them rather than justify the Global North. The high-level debate of the 80th UNGA session commenced on Tuesday in New York, with global leaders convening to address pressing challenges.
As like-minded Global South countries, we today approach world affairs united and through a broad set of principles and concepts, and these include: 1. Fair and transparent economic practices that democratize production and enhance economic security. A stable environment for balanced and sustainable economic interactions, including more South-South trade, investment, and technology collaborations. Resilient, reliable, and shorter supply chains that would reduce dependence on any single supplier.
Meanwhile, India's Trade Minister Piyush Goyal, speaking at the US-India Strategic Partnership Forum in New York on Tuesday, said that New Delhi expects to expand trade with Washington on energy products in the coming years. Highlighting India's vast talent pool of engineers and graduates, he urged the US administration to support their growth plans even as it introduces a new $1 lakh annual fee for H-1B skilled worker visas.
We also provide huge amount of talent and innovation for which Indian engineers and Indian graduates are famous. That also provides us an opportunity to provide solutions for corporations across the world, including in the US, to support their growth plans, to support their plans to focus on new research and development, new ideas. The startup ecosystem in India is very vibrant. A lot of new companies coming up with right ideas which go beyond the traditional renewable energy sources.
And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has voiced cautious optimism about India's role in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, saying New Delhi is mostly aligned with Kyiv despite its energy ties with Moscow. His remarks came after US President Donald Trump criticized India and China as primary funders of the ongoing war. Speaking to Fox News on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York, Zelensky said, "I think India is mostly with us. We have these questions with energy, but I think President Trump can manage it." With the Europeans making it closer and stronger relations with India, he stressed the importance of ensuring India remains engaged in supporting Ukraine and predicted that New Delhi could gradually change its approach to Russian energy. On China, however, he acknowledged deeper challenges, noting Beijing's historic closeness with Moscow. He added, "We are ready to end this war as quickly as possible. Trump wants that, I want that, our people want that, but Putin does not." Moving on, a photo exhibition held this week outside the UNHRC in Geneva exposed the horrors of Pakistan-sponsored terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. Key organizer activist Taslima Akhtar made an emotional appeal and urged the world to unite against Pakistan's brutality.
A photo exhibition held this week during the 60th session of the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva revealed the devastating impact of Pakistan-sponsored terrorism in India's Jammu and Kashmir. The exhibition led by Kashmiri human rights defenders highlighted brutal incidents, including the recent Pahalgam massacre, where innocent civilians were killed. Prominent activist Taslima Akhtar, one of the key organizers of the event, delivered a deeply emotional appeal to the world, urging immediate international action against Pakistan.
हम UNHRC यूनाइटेड नेशन को अपील करते हैं कि पाकिस्तान का कब तक ये इनको बैन होना चाहिए कि अभी रिसेंटली उन्होंने 2025 में भी जो अटैक किया है निहत्थे लोगों पर, टूरिस्टों पर वहाँ पहलगाम में, उनको चुन चुन के मारा है कि आप कलमा पढ़ो, मुस्लिम कौन है, हिंदू कौन है, और उनके औरतों के सामने एक छोटे बच्चे का क्या कसूर था, उसको एक हाथ बाप में के हाथ में था और उसको उन्होंने अनाथ कर डाला है। क्या ये वर्ल्ड को नहीं दिखता है? वर्ल्ड को ये देखना चाहिए कि जो भी जम्मू कश्मीर में अभी हुआ रिसेंटली या हो के आ रहा है, तो पाकिस्तान पूरे वर्ल्ड को यूनाइट होना पड़ेगा अगेंस्ट पाक स्पॉन्सर टेररिज्म को। क्यों उसकी अभी तक भी फंडिंग हो रही है, उनको क्यों शील्ड कर रही है पाकिस्तान टेररिज्म को? सभी ये पूरी दुनिया के लिए खतरा है, उसमें खाली इंडिया और कश्मीर ही खतरे में नहीं, इंडियन कश्मीरी, ये पूरी दुनिया के लिए खतरा बन रहा है।
As the images from the exhibition echoed across Geneva, the message was loud and clear. The world cannot afford to turn a blind eye to Pakistan-sponsored terrorism any longer.
And Pakistan's poverty reduction journey has hit a roadblock with recent economic shocks and natural disasters pushing millions back into hardship. A recent report by the World Bank warns that the country's once promising gains are now reversing, leaving many vulnerable just above the poverty line.
The World Bank on Tuesday said that a sharp decline in poverty has stopped in recent years due to economic shocks and a lack of structural reforms in Pakistan. A wave of urbanization, between 2001 and 2015, helped to reduce the national poverty rate from 64% to 22% by 2019, as rural workers moved into informal urban jobs in sectors like transport, construction, and trade. However, that progress has since slowed, with poverty rising to 25% by 2024, the international lender has said in a report. The study further informed that the growth model that supported initial poverty reduction has proven insufficient to sustain progress.
यानी कि हमारे जो लीडरान है, हमारे जो वजीर आज़म है, इन्हीं की मेहरबानी है मेरे हिसाब से। यानी कि कोई चीज का एक्शन नहीं लेते हैं, कोई चीज बढ़ जाता है, इसका कोई पूछने वाला नहीं है। इसी मार्केट में, आप होलसेल मार्केट में खड़े हो, आप यहाँ जाकर 10 दुकानों में 10 चीजों के रेट मालूम करो, एक ही चीज का 10 जगह पे रेट होंगे। किसी का कुछ रेट है, किसी का कुछ रेट है, किसी का कुछ रेट है। कोई बोलने वाला नहीं है, कोई पकड़ने वाला नहीं है।
The report states many who escaped poverty have remained just above the threshold, leaving them vulnerable to economic disruptions. Residents in Karachi city said they are now witnessing a rise in inflation due to crop damage caused by floods.
ये सैलाब के चक्कर है, पीछे से माल नहीं आ रहा, माल बहुत शार्ट है, मंडी में भी घूमना पड़ रहा है, माल है ही नहीं। इस वजह से कि पंजाब से ये वहाँ से माल आ रहा था, अब बिल्कुल शार्ट है माल।
Pakistan's planning minister Ahsan Iqbal last week told Reuters that the country's economic revival plan faces a major setback after record floods. The government had projected 4.2% growth by 2026, backed by a $7 billion IMF bailout, on the back of a rebound in farming and manufacturing. But vast areas of Punjab and Sindh, its key economic hubs, have faced huge losses due to the deluge.
And Afghanistan has once again lost its UN General Assembly voting rights after failing to pay its annual membership dues for the third consecutive year. The country owes more than $900,000 and has not cleared payments for the past 3 years. Taliban officials claim the lack of international recognition prevents them from making them direct payments, while critics see the issue as a sign of Kabul's wider diplomatic isolation. Under the UN Charter, member states that fail to pay contributions for over 2 years are automatically suspended from voting. Afghanistan has also remained absent from the UNGA Leaders Summit for 4 consecutive years since the Taliban takeover in August 2021. The continued loss of representation and voting rights underscores the country's deepening isolation, raising concerns that its people will bear the greatest burden through heightened humanitarian and political neglect. Moving on, Sri Lanka's central bank kept its overnight policy rate unchanged at 7.75% on Wednesday, prioritizing stability and growth ahead of 2026 budget and an IMF review mission. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka noted the economy expanded 4.8% in the first half of 2025, while inflation at just 1.2% in August is projected to return to the 5% target by mid-2026. Officials said that medium-term inflation expectations remain well anchored, and the Monetary Board's decision to hold rates was widely anticipated given the current outlook. The economy is forecast to grow 4.5% in 2025, with second quarter GDP at 4.9% in line with forecasts. The bank last cut its benchmark rate by 25 basis points in May to spur growth. President Anura Kumara Dissanayake, also serving as finance minister, will unveil the 2026 budget on November 7, expected to focus on record capital spending. The IMF delegation's fifth review comes less than a year after Sri Lanka struck a $22.5 billion debt restructuring deal with creditors following its 2022 foreign debt default. The central bank's final policy meeting for 2025 is scheduled for 25th of November. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.
TAG TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.